I thought Chloe Bennett and I, college sweethearts, were going to spend the rest of our lives together. Reality, it turns out, had a haymaker with my name on it. Chloe, who always claimed to hate the outdoors, was suddenly at the Grand Canyon watching the sunrise with her office assistant, Justin Vance. When the first rays of dawn cut through the clouds, some kindred souls are destined to stand on the edge of the same cliff. Justin's caption on his Instagram post was practically screaming for attention. The accompanying photos were a masterclass in plausible deniability, a silhouette of the two of them against the rising sun, their hiking poles crossed, and a close-up detail of their matching North Face jackets. A white-hot rage burned through my gut, but I forced my hand steady, clenched my jaw, and hit the like button. I thought about all the times I'd proposed, only to be turned down again and again. The rumors at her office had been swirling for months. Even my best friend had tried to warn me about her, and some other guy. When I saw that picture, it felt like a bomb went off in my head. I had to confront her, but when I did, she couldn't have cared less. That woman, she froze my heart solid. My name is Kyle Miller. Chloe Bennett and I had been together since our freshman year. For all those years, I truly believed we were heading for the altar. But lately, the strange looks from her colleagues and my own friends' hesitant silences had planted a seed of doubt in my mind. The other day, my friend finally couldn't hold it in any longer. He pulled me aside, his voice low. Dude, I've seen Chloe with that assistant of hers, Justin Vance, a bunch of times. They're way too close. You need to watch your back. At the time, I thought he was just being paranoid. I even defended her. It's probably just work stuff. They're just colleagues, man. Don't overthink it. He just clapped me on the shoulder, his expression dead serious. I saw what I saw. Just be careful. After that, I started paying attention. I remembered all my failed proposals, her excuses about wanting to enjoy a few more years of just the two of us. How laughable those reasons seem now. Then came the day I was scrolling through Instagram and saw Justin Vance's post. In the picture, he and Chloe were on the canyon rim, the spectacular sunrise at their backs, their hands clasped together as they smiled, radiating pure bliss. The caption, the picture, it was like a sledgehammer to the skull. My head was ringing. I couldn't believe my eyes. My fingers trembled as I zoomed in on the photo. Her familiar face was a knife twisting in my gut. I called her immediately. Her voice on the other end was clipped, annoyed. What? I'm busy. I fought to keep my own voice from shaking with rage. You went to the Grand Canyon with Justin Vance the other day? There was a pause on the line. Then her voice, drenched in nonchalance, came back. Yeah, so what? It was a work trip, a chance to relax. Work? I could feel my voice trembling now. What kind of colleague posts something like that? Chloe, don't treat me like an idiot. She let out a cold laugh. It's just a picture. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? If you're going to be this petty, maybe we shouldn't be together. And then she hung up. I gripped my phone so tightly the veins on the back of my hand bulged. I had to settle this face to face. After work, I went straight to her office building. As I waited outside, I saw her walk out with Justin, laughing and talking. He was carrying her bag, his arm brushing against hers. Their bodies were practically pressed together. My rage hit its peak. I stormed over, grabbed Justin by the collar of his expensive shirt, and roared, "You son of a bitch! What the hell do you think you're doing? I'll kill you." Justin just smirked at me, a look of pure triumph on his face. Well, if it isn't Mr. Miller. My, what brings you here? Chloe and I just have a professional relationship. You're misunderstanding. I was so furious I drew back my fist, but Chloe jumped between us. Kyle, stop it. Don't make a scene. If you keep this up, we're done. I stared at her, my eyes burning with disappointment and fury. Chloe, all these years we've been together, and you could just end it like this? Don't you feel anything for me? She looked at me with contempt. All these years, what have you ever given me? You can't give me the life I want. Justin understands me. He comes from a wealthy family, and he's willing to give up his cushy life to help me build my career. Can you compete with that? I let out a bitter laugh. The life you want? You mean money? You'd throw away your dignity for money. Her face hardened. Dignity? Can you eat dignity? Besides, we haven't done anything sordid. Only a person with a dirty mind sees dirt everywhere. Look at yourself with your pathetic little 9-to-5 salary. When are you ever going to be able to afford a house? You don't even have the basic ability to give me a stable home. Her words were the final blow. Chloe, I shouted, my voice raw. I always thought you were with me because you loved me. I never knew you were this kind of person. Fine, if that's how you feel, then we're through. She shrugged, completely indifferent. Fine by me. I've been sick of you for a long time anyway. With that, she took Justin's arm and walked away. I was left standing on the street, a ghost in a city that suddenly felt alien. Everything around me was a blur. I couldn't understand how years of love and commitment could mean nothing to her. The memories we'd made, all those sweet moments, now felt like shards of glass tearing my heart to pieces. Back in my apartment, I collapsed onto the sofa, my mind a chaotic storm. Just then my phone rang. It was Chloe's parents. They laid into me, accusing me of not cherishing their daughter, of not being man enough to give her the life she deserved. Listening to them, the fire in my chest roared back to life. It's not that I don't cherish her, I yelled into the phone. It's that she betrayed me first. Don't you know about her and Justin Vance? The other end went silent for a moment. Then, Chloe's father spoke. Regardless, you should talk to Chloe properly. You two have been together for so long. You can't just throw it all away. I laughed, a cold, empty sound. Talk? I gave her plenty of chances. She's the one who didn't cherish them. I'm not going back. I hung up the phone. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, my heart a cocktail of pain and fury. I made a decision. I was going to make Chloe Bennett and Justin Vance pay for what they did. I would show them that people who betray love never, ever get a happy ending. All night I tossed and turned. I had poured my heart out for her for years, proposed so many times, and all I got in return was her sneaking around with Justin Vance and an attitude that told me I meant nothing. I finally saw her for who she was. This marriage was off. The one silver lining was that I'd never told her about my family's real situation. The truth was, the Miller family was one of the wealthiest in the state. Let the bitch live to regret this. The next morning, I got up early. After a shower, I looked at my haggard face in the mirror and took a deep breath. It was time to end this. I called both sets of parents and arranged a meeting. When we got to the restaurant, my parents looked at me with worry etched on their faces. Chloe's parents just looked annoyed. Son, what's really going on? My dad asked. Before I could answer, Chloe's mom piped up in a saccharine, cutting tone. Well, Kyle, what's this little drama you're staging? Calling off the wedding at the last minute. What do you take us for? I swallowed my anger and told them everything, beat by beat, about Chloe cheating on me with Justin. When I finished, my parents' faces were grim. My dad slammed his hand on the table. How could that girl do something like this? Son, you did the right thing. You can't marry her. Chloe's dad, however, was in denial. He glared at me. Where's your proof? Don't you dare come in here and slander my daughter. I smirked, pulled out my phone, and showed them the Instagram post. Chloe's mom's expression flickered, but she doubled down. A picture doesn't prove anything. Maybe it was just a normal photo between colleagues. I was seething. Ma'am, we're past that point, and you're still defending her? I saw them together with my own eyes, and Chloe practically admitted it herself. Her father was relentless. Even if Chloe made a mistake, you can't just cancel everything. What about our family's reputation? Where are we supposed to show our faces? I looked at them both, my voice cold and steady. Sir, ma'am, I gave Chloe a chance. She threw it away. I refused to spend the rest of my life living in the shadow of her betrayal. This wedding is not happening. That's when Chloe's mom lost it, starting to make a scene. You ungrateful brat. Our Chloe was with you all these years. She never once complained about you being poor. And now you just dump her? No, you have to marry her. That was it for my parents. Your daughter did this, and you have the nerve to demand my son marry her, my mom shot back. If they got married, he'd be a laughingstock for the rest of his life. The two sets of parents started shouting at each other, and the whole situation descended into chaos. Enough, I yelled over the noise. It's settled. The wedding is off. I grabbed my parents' arms and walked out. We left in a storm of anger. I immediately started canceling all the wedding plans. I called the event planner first. I need to cancel the wedding. Do what you want with the deposit. They tried to reason with me, but I just hung up. Next, I went to the hotel to explain the situation. I lost a chunk of the deposit, but I didn't care. Then I returned the engagement ring and the wedding dress. The sales clerk looked at my exhausted face and gently suggested I reconsider. I just shook my head. After handling all of it, a small weight lifted from my shoulders. But I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. When Chloe found out I'd officially canceled everything, she showed up at my office to cause a scene. She stood at the entrance, screaming, Kyle Miller, you heartless bastard. How dare you cancel the wedding? My colleagues started to gather, watching the drama unfold. I walked out and looked at her, my expression like ice. Chloe, you have some nerve showing up here. Don't you have any idea what you've done? But she was in full meltdown mode. I don't care. You have to marry me, or I'll make your life at this company a living hell. Looking at her contorted face, I just felt sick. Chloe, stop harassing me, I said, my voice loud and clear for everyone to hear. You're a successful executive. Have some self-respect. You're the one who didn't value what we had. From this moment on, there is nothing between us. I turned and walked back into the office. She kept screaming for a while longer, But when she realized no one was paying her any attention, she left in a huff, spitting one last threat over her shoulder. Kyle Miller, you just wait. Everyone at work now knew my business. Some gave me looks of pity, others gossiped behind my back with smug superiority. I didn't care. I knew I'd made the right choice. It was none of their damn business. That evening, I drove to the old Miller family estate, a place I hadn't set foot in for years. My parents tried to comfort me. Son, don't take it too hard. A woman like that isn't worth your pain. You'll find someone so much better. I nodded. I know, Mom, Dad. I'm going to focus on making a better life for myself. I'm sorry for worrying you. I've been so selfish these last few years, all for a woman who hurt you both. My father sighed and patted my shoulder. What's past is past. You've had your time out in the world, haven't you? It's time to get ready. The family business needs you to take over. Canceling the wedding with Chloe was a relief. Her parents, however, weren't ready to let it go. They felt I had ruined their reputation and started a smear campaign to publicly humiliate me. That night, Chloe's father called and said he was coming to my apartment to talk. I was reluctant, but I agreed. They arrived with fury on their faces, storming in and immediately laying into me. Kyle, do you have any idea what you've done? Do you know the shame you've brought upon our family? I answered calmly. Sir, ma'am, you should be asking your daughter that question. I was forced into this. Chloe betrayed me. I couldn't just let it go. That only made them angrier. Chloe's father shoved me. What kind of attitude is that? We were doing you a favor. Don't you know that for a dirt-poor family like yours, marrying into our family would have been the best thing that ever happened to you? I steadied myself and let out a short, sharp laugh. Sir, I'm not good enough for your family. I respect Chloe's choice. Let that moron Justin Vance marry into your family instead. His face purpled with rage. They started screaming at me, even throwing things around my living room. I just watched them coldly, refusing to be dragged down by their hysteria. I calmly took out my phone and called the police. When the officers arrived and got the gist of the situation, they escorted Chloe's parents out of my apartment. As they were being led away, they started threatening me. Kyle Miller, you broke-ass punk. We'll make you regret this. I just smirked. I'm ready for whatever you've got. I won't regret a thing. By now, they froze, then got even angrier. Chloe's mother shrieked. Kyle, are you really going to burn every bridge? We are your elders. Aren't you afraid of what people will say? I looked at her, my patience completely gone, and just shook my head in disgust. What was wrong with this entire family? They were all completely unreasonable. I walked out of the room, leaving them to argue with the cops at my door. I pulled out my phone and sent a text to my father. I'm ready. I'm coming home now to take over the business. I can't stay here anymore. The Bennetts will never leave me alone. I thought after the humiliation from Chloe's parents, I'd finally get some peace to focus on work. But no, that little prick Justin Vance decided to seek me out and provoke me. I was just leaving the office when I saw him leaning against my car, a smug look plastered on his face. I scowled and walked straight toward him. Well, Mr. Miller, what's it like having to drive yourself around after getting dumped? Don't see Chloe chauffeuring you anymore, do ya? Justin said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. I snorted. Don't get too comfortable, Vance. You think you and Chloe are going to last? Oh, wait, you're right. A bitch for a bastard. That's a match made in heaven. Justin's smirk tightened. He crossed his arms, looking down his nose at me. You don't need to worry about how long we'll last. Chloe loves me now. You can go back to being a bottom feeder for the rest of your life. And look at you. Your career is a joke, just another corporate drone, and your girl left you. You couldn't even keep your own woman satisfied. She's in my arms every night, begging for it. Huh, you're the biggest chump in town. I snapped. Without a flicker of warning, I shot my left foot up in a powerful front kick, sending him sprawling to the pavement. Get the hell away from me, you piece of shit, I growled. And don't ever let me see you again. Justin clutched his stomach, groaning in pain. Kyle, you bastard. You're just jealous of me. Chloe's way happier with me than she ever was with you. You're just a pathetic, incompetent loser. I grabbed him by the collar and hauled him up. Say one more word, Vance. I dare you. He wasn't scared. He just laughed. Oh, did I hit a nerve? This is all you've got, isn't it? Gutter trash, like you only knows how to use your fists. I was about to hit him again when a familiar voice cut through the air. Kyle, what are you doing? I turned. It was Chloe. She rushed over and pulled me off him. Stop making a scene. Justin's right. You're just gutter trash. I looked at Chloe, my voice dripping with disdain. You two really are perfect for each other. A world-class bitch and a world-class bastard. Get lost, Kyle, she shrieked. And stay out of our lives. I let go of Justin. Don't have to tell me twice. I'm done with you two morons. I turned and walked away. Behind me, I could hear Justin yelling. That's right, run away. Next time I see you, I'll humiliate you all over again. Back home, an idea began to form. I couldn't let them get away with this. I was going to show Justin Vance and Chloe Bennett that Kyle Miller was not someone to be messed with. In the following days, I quit my job and began the process of taking over my family's corporation. At the same time, I had some feelers put out to keep an eye on Justin and Chloe. I soon discovered that Justin, using his relationship with Chloe, was getting more and more arrogant at her company, even starting to meddle with the finance department. Chloe, I mused to myself. Looks like we're in for quite a show. This was far from over. As I was lost in thought, my phone rang. An unknown number. I answered. A low voice on the other end said, "Kyle Miller, you better watch your back. Things are about to get ugly for you." Then, the line went dead. I frowned. It was probably Justin's stupid prank, but I had a feeling that my life was about to get a lot more complicated. Just as I was stewing over Justin's provocations and planning my revenge on the happy couple, all while diving headfirst into the family business, Sophie Bennett suddenly reappeared in my life. I was at the coffee shop near my new office, waiting for my order, when I heard a familiar voice. "Kyle." I turned around to see Sophie standing behind me, also holding a coffee. I was a little surprised. After the ugly mess with Chloe, I hadn't had much contact with Sophie. "Sophie, what are you doing here?" I asked. She smiled, revealing 2 cute dimples. I had a meeting nearby and decided to grab coffee. "How have you been, Kyle?" I gave a wry smile. "About how you'd expect." She looked at me, her eyes full of genuine concern. "Kyle, I know what my sister did was awful, and I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I apologize on her behalf." "It's fine, it's in the past," I said, waving a hand dismissively. "It's not your fault. You don't have to apologize." Just then, my coffee was ready. As I went to grab it, Sophie beat me to it. "Here you go, Kyle." Looking at her sweet smile and those charming dimples, I took the coffee and felt a strange, unexpected flutter in my chest. "Thanks, Sophie." She gave a small smile back. "Don't be a stranger, Kyle. If you ever need anything, you can always call me." I was a bit confused. Sophie was Chloe's sister, after all. Her friendliness made me a little uneasy. After that day, Sophie started showing up now and then. Sometimes she'd bring me homemade cookies. Other times she'd offer small but insightful suggestions about my work. At first, I was wary. She was a Bennett, part of that bizarre family, and I couldn't help but wonder if she had an ulterior motive. One time, she brought me a whole cake. I finally had to ask, "Sophie, why are you being so nice to me?" She looked at me earnestly. "Kyle, I know what my sister did was wrong. You're a good man. You didn't deserve to be hurt like that. I just want to help." Her words touched a part of me I thought had frozen over. After that, I slowly let my guard down, and we became friends. Recently, the company took on a massive project. The deadline was tight, the workload was insane, and I was completely swamped. When Sophie found out, she offered to help. She organized documents, analyzed data, and stayed late with me night after night. She truly was a genius. An Ivy League MBA will do that for you. Her expertise was undeniable. Working together, I discovered that Sophie wasn't just kind. She was incredibly capable. Her thinking was sharp, her efficiency was off the charts, and she was a tremendous help. The project brought us closer. During breaks, we'd chat about anything and everything, sharing funny stories from our lives. I found that being with her was easy. My troubles seemed to melt away. One night, after a long session at the office, we were walking home. The moonlight cast a soft glow on us, and the atmosphere felt different. Sophie suddenly stopped and looked at me. "Kyle, there's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time. I really admire you. You're strong. You work hard. You're an amazing person." I felt a blush creep up my neck. "Sophie, don't say that. I'm just a regular guy." She smiled. "Not in my eyes. You're exceptional. Kyle, I want to be by your side, no matter what challenges come our way." My heart skipped a beat. I looked into her clear eyes, at a loss for words. Just then, my phone rang, shattering the moment. It was my father. There was a problem with the project, and he needed me back at the office immediately. "Sophie, I'm sorry," I said, frustrated. "Work emergency. I have to go back." She nodded. "Go, Kyle. Be safe." I rushed back to the office. By the time I fixed the problem, it was the middle of the night. As I dragged my exhausted body out of the building, my mind was still on Sophie's words. I knew my feelings for her were changing, too. I remembered when she was still in college here in the States. Chloe used to have me pick her up from campus during breaks, but we never really talked much back then. Lost in a swirl of conflicting emotions, my phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. I answered, and a chilling voice hissed, "Kyle Miller, you hide your secrets well. A rich kid playing the poor boy. I'm not going to let you get away with it." Just as Sophie was starting to bring some light back into my life, a new darkness fell. The family business was facing an unprecedented crisis. I had to put my personal feelings aside and throw myself completely into saving the company. My father told me we were in serious trouble, and all signs pointed to the Vance family being behind it. A chill went down my spine. I remember the intel my source close to Chloe had given me a while back. Justin Vance had been secretly manipulating large sums of money. This was no coincidence. Justin Vance, I muttered to myself, I wasn't even done with you, and you come knocking on my door looking for a fight. After officially returning to the family business, I realized the problem was far more complex than I'd imagined. Our company was under a fierce assault on the stock market, and internal management issues were causing our profits to plummet. For the next several days, my team and I worked around the clock. We optimized management, improved product quality, and fought to expand our market share. To handle the financial crisis, I brought in a consortium of investment banks. Their capital injection successfully solved our cash flow problem and stabilized our foundation. After months of grueling work, our efforts paid off. The company's performance began to climb. The stock rebounded, and employee morale soared. The Miller Corporation was alive and kicking again. I figured that after this market battle, Justin Vance must have taken a significant hit. He and Chloe would probably lay low for a while. But just as we were celebrating our victory, an anonymous letter arrived at my office. It warned that someone was still working from the shadows to sabotage the company for their own gain. I realized the real test was just beginning. The immediate crisis at the family business had been averted, but a new challenge was already on the horizon. The anonymous letter was a stark reminder that Justin Vance hadn't given up his schemes. He was still playing a long game. I began closely monitoring the financials and operations of Chloe's company, hoping to find a trail leading back to Justin. Sure enough, my inside source soon provided documents showing a series of abnormal fund transfers. The money was flowing to a small firm I'd never heard of. After some digging, I discovered this small firm was, in fact, a shell corporation controlled by Justin Vance. He had used his position and Chloe's trust to transfer all of her company's liquid assets into his own pocket. Even more damning, my source revealed that the Vance family's own business empire had secretly gone bankrupt at the beginning of the year. So that's his game, I thought. He weasels his way into Chloe's company as her personal assistant just to gut it from the inside. Chloe, you never saw it coming, did you? The person you trusted most is the one who stabbed you in the back. You're going to lose everything. Oh, this is going to be one hell of a show. The thought of them tearing each other apart was so grimly amusing, I couldn't help but let out a small, dark chuckle. Just as I was savoring the quiet moment, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. A cold voice said, Kyle Miller, you think this is over? The show's just getting started. The line went dead. My jaw tightened. A new storm was brewing. Damn it. I cursed under my breath. Who is this guy getting off on these mind games? I thought I'd finally have some peace, but then all hell broke loose over at Chloe's company. I was in the middle of a meeting when I overheard some colleagues whispering. Did you see the news? Chloe Bennett's company is about to collapse. Total cash flow failure. Yeah, I heard they have a ton of bad debt, too. No idea how it got so bad. My stomach dropped. Just as I predicted. Chloe's company was drowning in bad debt, riddled with suspicious transactions. It turned out Justin Vance had been playing her from start. He'd used her affection for him to run wild, operating in the shadows and funneling all the company's money into his own shell corporation. Chloe was oblivious until the financial reports became too disastrous to ignore. When she confronted Justin, he denied everything at first. But when he realized the jig was up, he showed his true colors. Chloe, did you really think I loved you? He'd sneered. I was only after your company's money. It's all on my accounts now. What are you going to do about it? Chloe was trembling with rage. Justin, you monster. I was so good to you. How could you do this to me? He just laughed. Good to me? You were just a fool. Now your company is going under. Get ready for bankruptcy. Chloe lunged at him, but Justin, in a fit of rage, shoved her hard. She lost her balance and fell to the floor. What made it 1,000 times worse was that Chloe was pregnant. The fall caused a miscarriage. She lay on the floor, sobbing hysterically. Justin, you killed your own child. You'll rot in hell for this. Seeing the gravity of the situation, Justin panicked a little, but he was still defiant. You brought this on yourself. Don't blame me. With that, he fled. Chloe's company descended into chaos. Employees resigned in droves, and creditors came knocking at the door. Chloe ended up in a hospital bed, alone, her face streaked with tears of regret. Her parents stood by, sighing and cursing Justin Vance's entire family tree. Sophie quietly entered the hospital room. Chloe, don't be so hard on yourself, she said softly. We'll find a way to solve this. The most important thing now is for you to rest and get better. I still have some savings. Even if the company is gone, you'll have enough to live on. Hearing all this, I felt no sympathy, only a sense of grim inevitability. The once proud Chloe Bennett had been brought this low by her own choices. Justin Vance was apprehended by the police at the airport as he tried to flee the country. It seemed like it was all finally over. But just when I thought things were settling down, I received an anonymous text from that same mysterious person. Kyle, don't think you've won. The best part is yet to come. I scowled at my phone. Jesus Christ. Who the hell is this mystery man? He never gives up with this cryptic bullshit. What the hell? After all the drama, life seemed to be moving in the right direction. Under my leadership, the family business was thriving. But the threats from that mysterious person still left a lingering unease in the back of my mind. Night fell. Sophie and I, finished with work for the day, decided to treat ourselves to a nice dinner. We were walking hand in hand to the restaurant, laughing and talking. Suddenly, my phone rang. Another unknown number. I answered, and that same sinister, familiar voice came through the line. Kyle Miller, get ready for hell. Then he hung up. A jolt went through me. Who was this lunatic? This was getting old. Sophie saw the look on my face. Kyle, what's wrong? I shook my head. Nothing. Probably just a spam call. But my heart was hammering against my ribs. I had a terrible feeling that something bad was about to happen. At the restaurant, I couldn't shake the feeling that a pair of eyes was watching us from the shadows. I scanned the room warily, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. Kyle, don't scare yourself, Sophie said gently. You've just been under too much stress lately. I nodded, trying to relax. After dinner, we were driving home when a black, heavy-duty Escalade suddenly swerved out of a side street, aiming straight for us. My heart leaped into my throat. I yanked the wheel to dodge it, but the SUV was like a rabid animal, relentlessly pursuing us. I realized this was no accident. Someone was trying to kill us. I floored it, trying to shake them, but the other driver was skilled and aggressive, sticking to our tail like glue. Suddenly, the SUV accelerated and slammed into our rear bumper. Our car fishtailed violently, nearly spinning out of control. Sophie screamed. Sophie, hold on. I yelled. Grab the handle. Up ahead, I saw a sharp turn. An idea sparked. I deliberately slowed down. As the Escalade closed in for another hit, I wrenched the steering wheel hard. The driver was caught by surprise, unable to react in time, and the massive SUV plunged straight into a ditch on the side of the road. I let out a breath of relief, thinking the danger had passed. But then, a hulking figure climbed out of the wrecked vehicle. He stalked toward us, his face a mask of fury. As he got closer, I recognized him. It was Justin Vance's father, Dominic Vance. It all clicked into place. The anonymous calls, the threats, it was him all along. Dominic reached our car and pounded on the window. Kyle Miller, didn't expect this, did you? Today's the day you die. I opened my door and stood up to him. Dominic, why are you doing this? He sneered. You ruined my son's future. He was a big man, strong, and I was quickly losing ground. Just as he pulled a knife from his belt and raised it to strike, Sophie threw herself out of the car and shoved me out of the way, taking the blow herself. The blade sank deep into her side. She crumpled to the ground. Sophie, I screamed, my voice a raw mix of terror and rage. Forgetting my own pain, I saw my chance while he was off balance. I snatched a loose brick from the edge of the road and brought it down on his head with all my strength. He staggered back, dazed. I followed up with a flying kick that sent him sprawling 2 yards away. I gathered Sophie into my arms. Her face was pale, and blood was pouring from the wound at her thigh. Kyle, she whispered weakly. I'm okay. Tears welled in my eyes. Sophie, why would you do that? Why would you be so foolish? She managed a faint smile. I couldn't let anything happen to you. By now, a crowd of onlookers had gathered. Seeing he was outnumbered, Dominic scrambled to his feet and ran off into the night. There was no time to worry about him. I carefully carried Sophie back to the car and sped toward the hospital. I paced anxiously outside the operating room, my mind consumed by guilt. If it weren't for me, Sophie would never have been hurt. After what felt like an eternity, the doctor finally emerged. I rushed forward. Doctor, how is she? The patient is out of immediate danger, but she'll need a long recovery. Hearing those words, I finally allowed myself to breathe. I went into her room and sat by her bedside. She looked so pale and fragile. I took her hand. Sophie, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. She opened her eyes and looked at me. Kyle, don't say that. I don't regret it, as long as you're safe. After that night, our bond was sealed. I swore to myself that I would protect her, this woman who would literally die for me. I would never let her be harmed again. Just when I thought things might finally calm down, the police contacted me. Dominic Vance was still at large, and according to their investigation, He was planning something new, and this time his targets might not be limited to just me and Sophie. After a series of storms, my relationship with Sophie grew even deeper. We decided to get married and start a new chapter of our lives together. As we were planning the wedding, Chloe sought me out. She looked haggard and broken, her eyes filled with regret. "Kyle, I was wrong. I'm so sorry," she said, sobbing. I looked at her, and to my surprise, I felt nothing. There might have been some good memories once, but they were buried under an avalanche of pain. That betrayal was a scar that would never fade. Now I had Sophie, a new love. I couldn't pay for Chloe's mistakes, and frankly, I had no intention of ever forgiving her. "Chloe, let the past be the past. I hope you learn from this and become a better person." She nodded with difficulty, tears streaming down her face. "I will. I'll think about what I've done and change my ways. Thank you, Kyle. And congratulations to you and my sister. I hope you'll be happy together." She also told me one other tragic piece of news. She could no longer have children. Perhaps that was her penance. I looked at her, feeling a mixture of pity and helplessness. Just then, we got good news from the police. Dominic Vance and his son, Justin, had been apprehended. They would face the full extent of the law. A massive weight lifted from my shoulders. The storm was finally over. The wedding day was perfect. Sophie, in her white dress, looked like an angel. We exchanged vows and rings in front of our friends and family. At the reception, I stood before all our guests. "Life is a journey," I said. "We have to learn to cherish what we have, to be grateful, and most importantly, to take responsibility for our actions. May we all strive to be better people and build brighter futures." As I finished, Sophie and I held each other tightly, our hearts full of hope and confidence. We knew that no matter how difficult the road ahead might be, as long as we had each other, we could walk it together. The end.